Hi there, this is Ruth Royal from Youth Pledge for Employers, and I'm really pleased to be here today with Kat Dackler from Back in the Saddle. Hi, Kat, lovely to see you.
Hello, thank you for having me.
So first of all, tell us a bit about what Back in the Saddle is and what you do there.
So I'm a sports massage therapist,
Right.
and I massage horses and riders. And
Humans and animals.
yes,
Wow.
yes, I massage the horses, yeah, and the riders alongside. So obviously I massage, Joe Blogs, lay peoples as well. But my primary focus is massaging the horses. So I've been massaging horses just over 17 years, I think, and
Wow.
massaging people over 20 years.
Oh my goodness. So how did you get into that whole world?
Well, there's a long spiritual story to go alongside it,
Right.
but to cut to the chase and to make a very long story quite short, I decided that I could help horses more because I'd already ridden quite competitively.
Oh, right.
Um, and realised that actually I can help horses when I'm riding them. I always seem to be sent like the troubled horses as such. It wasn't until I met one particular horse that I realised there was something more underlying. It was either musculoskeletal or there's something else going on, whether it's their brain, whether it's their
Gosh. Yeah.
training, or brain pain and or training. It's usually one of those three things. So I started massaging people, and I did that for 4 years.
Right.
And I did that so that then I could take it myself to the horses.
Right.
But after that time, I then had my child, who is now 21, kind of in between that time. And then I just stumbled across a lady called Mary Bromley, who's now passed, God rest her soul. And she is actually an MBE, and
Right.
she was equine physiotherapist for the New Zealand Olympic equestrian team. So
Wow.
she was like a walking encyclopedia when it
Oh
came
my goodness. Yeah.
to physio on horses. And I was lucky enough to get on a course with her. So I think I was the second year intake of her course. So I did humans. I had to prove that I'd worked in 7 different disciplines to a standard with horses. And so I got accepted onto the course, and it went from there, really. Luckily, she took me under her wing and really looked after me. I don't know why, we just seemed to hit it off. Yeah, she was
Oh my God.
a walking encyclopedia, but it was just getting the information out of her. If you could do that, then you're okay. She looked after me for years after once I'd qualified. So yeah, incredible lady.
And so how long did that take you to qualify?
It was 9 months intensive course.
Okay. And so
So
intensive, does that mean sort of going very regularly?
yes, I was going weekends when I could down to Devon, which is where it
Right.
was, and staying down there, and then travelling home, working hard all week with my young son as well. I still remember the feeling, even though it's like 18 years or so ago, 17, 18 years of working all the way through the night and then hearing the birds chirping and
Oh
thinking,
my gosh.
no, I need to put my head down before my son, because literally I had to be able to draw freehand all the nerves, all the muscles, all the vessels, everything
Wow.
within the horse, freehand, as well as a
Yeah.
huge amount of coursework, a huge amount of case studies, and then we had our 3-hour written exam, and then we had 2 veterinary beavers as well.
Oh
So
my goodness.
very hard exam to pass back in the day. They're a lot easier now to do, but very hard back then.
That sounds like you were really focused on that was something that you were passionate about, you knew you wanted to achieve. That sort of determination must have seen you like in really good stead. And I sort of wonder, as well as all those sort of hard skills and knowledge, do you think there's other sort of skills and behaviours that actually that help you in your job? Like
I
sort
think
of softer skills?
if you work with horses anyway, or if you've been around horses, I think that you understand that there is some degree of discipline, and like a regimented kind of regime that we have to have. It's the same day in, day out, whether it's Christmas Day, whether it's your birthday, you'll still be doing the same thing. So I think that helps when it comes to studying. And I also just think, as you said, like having the passion, there's something else that drives you,
Yeah.
that if you don't have that, horses are a hard game if you don't have that in your blood.
And in your sort of day-to-day work, what sort of skills, what sort of skills do you need alongside, obviously, your sort of physiological knowledge of horses and humans? What other sorts of skills? Because I guess you probably have to be almost quite sort of, I bet you have to be a great communicator as well.
Yes, you do. You do, especially when you're dealing with people's animals, because it means so much to them. And there'd be no point in me going and helping an animal and talking to the owner like they're a vet. So you have to kind of translate things so people will understand it, and
Yeah.
also set plans. So, I say that I'm a massage therapist, but, it is horse and rider fitness as well, because the rehab plans are a big part of it,
Right.
setting plans, setting goals, making sure that people can meet those goals and helping them along the way. Keeping myself organised as well as other people organised. Having patience with people, because we are dealing with people,
Yeah.
so having lots of patience, and you just have to be very giving and caring and understanding of people's situations.
And what might a sort of typical sort of work day look like for you? Sort of what sort of time do you get up, and how does that, what kind of activities might you do in a day?
Well, I'm quite lucky, really, because I have a couple of girls that help me. So I have my own yard as well, where I take horses in for rehabilitation.
Oh,
So,
right.
yeah, often the other girls will go down first. So they'll do an hour for me in the morning. So I actually don't have to get to the yard until about 8:30. So
Right.
that's good. So if I've got phone calls or my diary to organise or things to write up or invoicing or contact with vets or anything like that, I can do that before I even leave the house, so I know that I'm set
Oh,
up for
brilliant.
the day. Yeah. Then I'll go down the yard, I'll work my horses, and then I will drive off to wherever I need to go. Or if I don't have anybody booked in out on the road, sometimes they come to me, the horses come to me, or the riders come to me for their massages. And then at the end of the day, I'm back to the rehab yard and then back home for more paperwork.
Wow.
And I might get some sleep.
So I guess you might be going out then onto people's premises to do horse massage. Do you tend to do that sort of off-site more than people massage, or is it a bit of both?
That's right. At the moment, we do. Most riders or most people will come to me, and that is actually at the yard. I've got a little therapy room there.
Right. Oh,
And
wow.
yes, most horses I will go out onto the road to see them.
Yeah.
So we do the rehab livery, so they'll come and stay with me like 3 days to 3 months
Oh my
usually.
gosh.
Yeah,
And what
depending
sort
on
of
what it is.
oh, sorry, I'm so interested in this. What sort of things might have happened to horses for them to kind of need rehabilitation? Because I'm guessing with riders, they might have had a fall, or they might have had some other, injury or problem that they might need working out. But I sort of wondered with horses, what kind of things do they need therapy for?
So most ideally, what I'll be doing is I'll be going seeing horses on a maintenance kind of.
Okay.
So what I like to do is to be able to get horses on the books, because they are athletes in their own right, and if you think of just us, if we go to the gym, 3 times a week, we're going to get achy and sore. But some of
Yeah.
these horses, they work very, very hard. So hopefully anything that would come up as an injury or a tightness or anything like that, we can stop that in its tracks before we even get anywhere near that point. So if the horse is having maintenance massages, hopefully we can keep injuries and things at back.
Right. Oh, okay.
That's the whole concept. But often I'm usually called when it's a little bit too late.
Right.
So just because of their training regime and the way horses work, they're herd animals. They don't like to show any weakness or any lameness. So they might have a muscle or a muscle group that's starting to create tension for some reason, or the nerves might be misfiring for some reason. And what the horse will do is will cover that up and continue to move and look like everything's fine, until then a muscle group says,
Wow.
I can't cope with this because this muscle group's starting to give up the ghost, and I've been working even harder and nobody's noticed. And then we usually find a problem. So usually when I get called, it's usually secondary actually. So we have to work back to what was the initial problem.
Yeah.
Just like ongoing training issues in a way, or ongoing training things that haven't been covered. or I might get called because there's been an actual injury, so we've got an acute problem going on,
Yeah.
rather than chronic, which is what I usually get called for.
I love that you're almost like a horse detective, aren't you? Like unpicking what's happened to them. It's really fascinating, especially.
Things, but not.
I guess probably from that, I wonder what is like, the best thing and the most challenging thing about your job.
Oh, the best thing is working with the horses. I love working with the people. I love being in my little therapy room. My tinkly tinkly music, and it's nice and warm and cozy, and I absolutely love when I put the horse and rider together, because often you'll see the people and you think you're moving just like how your horse moves. It's incredible, actually.
Wow.
So putting the two together is magical. But when I work on a horse, it's my therapy as well. I get a lot of energy back from the horses, which is absolutely lovely. So, and probably the most challenging is to help people understand that training regimes need to change a lot of the time. I
Yeah.
think a lot of the time we're quite old fashioned, and I can go out and see a horse that has a problem and I can treat or give therapy to the problem, but unless we eradicate the cause, it's always going to be there.
Yeah.
So sometimes just opening people's minds up and asking them to be open to new concepts and new ideas and new ways of training can be a challenge at first.
That's so interesting. And I guess probably lastly, because I feel like I could probably talk to you all week. Well, lastly, if you were to go back and give sort of young Kat a piece of careers advice, what do you think that might be?
Bit of careers advice. Be better at mathematics, because keeping my books and things like that is not great. Know when to dish out one area of your business to somebody else. Like, I'm no good at accounts or anything, so I need to give that to an accountant to do rather than breaking my own neck to do it. As far as kind of getting into this career and careers advice, I think I did pretty well. I think I was really lucky. I'd already learnt massage and hands-on, where now you can
Yeah.
go and do these courses and you don't have to have learnt massage. You kind of learn the technical and you can learn the anatomical and you can learn all these other bits. But unless you can use your hands, both feel the
Yeah.
same at the same time. But myself, I was very lucky. I'd worked in all sorts of yards. Say I'd competed to other people. And so as far as being a horse massage therapist goes, it's not just what you can do with your hands or all these long Latin names of muscles that you can remember. It's really getting deep down into the dirt on the grassroots level to really understand horses and how they move and how they work, and talk to the greats. Like I had Mary Bromley, for instance, or was associated with some great show jumpers and things like that. So it's really latching on to those that know and getting as much information out of them as you can, I think.
Kat, that is brilliant. Thank you so much for your time today. It's been great to meet you.
Oh, yeah.